good book. Oh, hello there! How you doing, everybody? A young girl and her brother is founded by three magical beings that transport her across the universe to find her father and must fight against the literal evil called the It. This film doesn't work for the external and internal crisis. It seems to be more relatable than realistic. To put simply, we are given the fact that our protagonist, Meg, is hated without reason and and is given self-doubt crystal scene where the main cast and Meg have another lead, yet her self-doubt is overpowered by her desire and her senses of observation. It's clear that the film wishes the crisis should be higher from the desire, despite the desire being the progression of the plot. This making the character seem contradictory. You consider that the antagonist being everyone's outlet for internal conflict. You see, the external and internal conflicts complementing each other. If it is one, it will mostly be looked at like external conflict, and once defeated, there will never be any internal conflict. Within the world of the film, it's even implied such things as bullying, fear, doubt, on. And this could be an interesting film if it states the It's purpose or worldview on why he did this. This is a major flaw of the movie, considering that the cinematography seems good. That is until you make the three Guardians, and the cinematography turns into close-up shots of these characters and is repeated. This wouldn't be fully considered a bad thing until you realize that most of the characters within this film are usually switched on to pretty much childlike wonder. Some scenes that pretty much like set the tone a little bit, and I enjoyed them. Still, we get cutbacks and forths of reaction shots to close-ups on either hair or clothing that show the texture of these characters rather than the full body, building up to something or someone that the film never implied even existed beforehand. There is this one scene where it keeps the face on Meg within a new environment, only to reveal to be long and not even using said frame to zoom out and show a larger environment. This brings the question on why it was even there in the first place. Why was it recorded in such a way? As stating, the timing helps ruin the framing for certain characters. There is one exit/entrance cut that makes the two scenes, one with the principal's office and the other ones with everyone at her home, have no progression of time to what the audience seen. There's also one scene in which the male love interest is falling and saved by these flower creatures. But the music implies that there's a chance of death, and yet it has two protections for the boy. One of them being a female guardian, and the other one being the flower creatures. Yet they come back to each of them as if they were trying to save the child together in unity. The scene did allow myself to remind what Disney has done with animation. There's one scene that is my favorite within the whole movie and surpasses my expectations and even makes me forget about the terrible story. It's at the close end of the film where Meg must find the entrance to her father. And how she does this is revealing of a beautiful animation style in which pretty much as she steps on an invisible platform, blue lines reveal it down to pretty much show that it's there. And the reason it's so beautiful is because it kind of represents somewhat of a blueprint sort of style that represents the calamity in which she is having to face within her mental state at the moment. It's also helped with the setting, or prop design, as pretty much like the entire room is covered with LED light bulbs. And it's extremely visually pleasing to the eye. It works perfectly, and it gives me the first time within the whole movie that I feel a sense of wonder. Of course, the film undermines this scene by having a pop song in it, which it follows the greatest problem of the movie, that there is very little subtlety, like being bullied, to her achieving something through her journey, to that light bulb scene gives a repetition of the message as if the audience cannot understand implications. This is an extreme shame because the musical score and the sound effects are both incredible. Going back to pretty much the falling scene, we get a flow of tension through the music as the a cappella tells us of an epic danger, and the music grows until it falls, where it becomes lighthearted and smoothly. The same with the sound effects, as you can hear the children being wrapped around the flower creature as it's rushing and diving towards the male love interest. It's just an extreme shame.
Now, I wish to talk about the male protagonist, slash love interest, because even though he isn't female, he has many problems that older films had with their female leads, even to this date. The Los Angeles Times reported an article showing multiple stereotypes that have existed even till now. The film somehow shows the male protagonist to embody multiple traits of the female stereotypes. His quote-unquote discard without any sort of development or nuisance, or only serve aid to the male character's characterization or archetype, and quote, aren't actually characters within their lives, they only serve to tell us more about our male protagonist. One could argue that he does change by explicitly stating that he will say things to his father, but only mentioned once, and nothing else has it to do with the plot. Certain films, such as The Kissing Booth and others, have the sort of problem where depth is mentioned only once for the female lead, and yet is never important to the plot. Like, the sole reason I bring this up is because even though the film has a female protagonist and magical female guardians that are being shown in awe, the film doesn't really destroy these stereotypes of women. Rather, they just switch it to the main male protagonist. From the article The Verge, quote, removing female characters from most films, they found, often didn't alter the film's plot significantly.